ధరణి నువ్వు కూడా రాళ్ళలోకి. Okay. Good evening, everybody. I hope you can hear me on the clubhouse. Dharani, please come up. Yeah, this problem I'm having on this all the time. I'm heard on the Wisdom app, but I don't think they can hear me on the this one. Maybe Alka will come up, then I can activate myself. Okay. So, good evening. I am Dr. Rao Kulsu. I'm opening up on this room, Docs and Burnouts. This is a weekly ritual I would be doing on this burnout topic as a whole. And hopefully, people are going to join us in the next few minutes, and then we'll be able to talk to them in detail about the burnout. Okay. Uh, I'm having a little problem on the clubhouse because they're not able to hear me. I'm trying to fix that. If somebody comes up on the stage, then I'll be able to do that with them. Once somebody comes on the stage with me as a speaker, then somehow this gets activated, the speaking that I could do. Otherwise, it's like I'm there, but they're not able to hear me. So have patience with me while I fix that. Okay. Speaking, but they can't hear me. Yeah, thanks for coming up. After you came up, I could activate that. There's something problem. Alka, I called her, but maybe she's busy with something, so she could not come over here. She can also come up. Dharani is my wife, and she must be busy with something too. Then she came up. Okay. Anyway, I was reading a statement today by one of the revered monks that came to America in 1893. On September 11th, he addressed the Congress of Religions that was convened worldwide. People were brought in, and he came from India, and he came with a lot of problems and all that. But then he was able to really do a lot of introduction of ancient wisdom from India. He is very much revered all over the world. His name is Vivekananda. Viveka means the one who has highest wisdom. So they gave him that name. Uh, he is somebody who is also for the science and for the spirituality. Anyway, he said this statement. I was glancing something, I looked at it, and then I thought that's something I could share with my friends. They alone live who live for others. So all this unselfish work is grandiose, and then looked at it. So there's a lot in that, Joyce, because the whole karma yoga that people talk about is based on this unselfish work, So that's something I want to present here and really make them understand the inner science of giving. And hi, Alma, welcome. Alka is also there. So, hi, Wilson. So, that's the thing we want to explore today because how this understand Karma Yoga helped me to help the physicians when they were having that COVID crisis because so many people were dying, right? Especially in New York, 1,000 people were dying every day there in the beginning, right? So many people came already. The health system is overwhelmed. But if you take an individual doctor, this kind of thing, actually, one of my friends, she is a cardiologist, they published an article quoting the very same thing I was going to talk to you about. So this is taken from ancient texts. Some of them are ancient things that they have done. This big war happens at one time, and that war is very well known. And the whole thing leads up to the vast amount of historical facts that lead up to the fact that people are uh, to fight in 18 days or so. Okay, so this prince, who is going to be the general, the ultimate warrior, and all that, he's a very very good archery person, right? He comes in the middle of the field, and then he sees all his uncles, um, uh, the grandfathers, all the relatives, all the friends, everybody was there in the other side of the army, and he was supposed to kill them. But he has very warm relationship with them. So he gets depressed and he kind of resigns and says, I'm not going to battle this. I don't want all these stupid monies and all the kingdoms. I'm going to just take it easy. Then the charioteer, who is really driving the chariot for him, he is supposed to be the God incarnate himself. So the wisdom comes out of him in kind of 720 verses, right? That was incorporated there, and that is Bhagavad Gita. That is in that he talks about. First of all, he talks about you got to realize who you are. You are the real soul or real energy that is behind this body, mind, and all. Then Arjuna, the warrior says, then why can't I just go and meditate? Why do I have to do this battle? Then he tells him, no, no, you have to do your work and you have to clean your heart by doing unselfish work. That they called karma yoga. Karma means doing stuff. But if you do it just because you are doing it for something or you're doing it because you want to do the work, that's all just karma. When does it become yoga is when you make this unselfishness come into place, where you are not doing things for your selfish needs. Don't be attached to that results of the selfishness and all that. That's why it's a very very important thing to understand. And context is COVID now. COVID, a lot of doctors were frustrated because they didn't have anything to do and they were looking at people dying and people dying without seeing the family and all the nursing homes were not to be approached by other relatives. So many saw the dead body after it happened, and then the patients also felt like they didn't have time to take leave from their loved ones and all. It was disastrous. As a physician, you can get down and all that. So teaching them this like kind of lesson helped. So But if you take a regular life, day-to-day life also, you do something voluntarily. You do give something without expecting anything in return. If you look at the chemistry of the person who is giving, there are happy hormones, endorphins, and then it makes you feel good. Okay, so there is a chemical effects we can show you after you have this random act of kindness, or you take up a job because you take up a cause. For example, we all have individual things that we do, right? Because of our experience in the work and all that, we have these lessons from we want to share. Even that is unselfish, right? We want to share, we want to help the cause of our humanity in that particular. Like Joyce, for example, she does talk about allergies, and she takes a lot of interest. She goes details, and that itself is unselfishly giving, right? She's not selling you anything. She's just sharing all those knowledge. Participate in that, enhances that kind of thing. I'm sure Alka, Alma, and Wilson, they all have their own particular thing. Wilson, if you want to come up, you're more than welcome. I will send you an invite, so that we'll all be here. So, what do you think about that statement, Joyce?
Yeah, I think it's good. I like it. I was thinking though, it's interesting because in the United States, at least among certain people,
Yeah.
it's been considered that you're supposed to, go for self-fulfillment,
Yeah.
and that if being self-sacrificing
Yeah.
is not healthy for you or something. And I think for some people, maybe they do try to go so far in terms of self-sacrificing that they
Yeah.
maybe injure their health, or that they don't maybe have the spiritual connection that helps them
Yeah.
have a fulfilling life with that situation.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, there's this, I don't know if you're familiar with the libertarian
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
philosophy, and Ayn Rand, who wrote a book called The Virtue of Selfishness, or,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really don't like her, but
Yeah.
anyway, some people are convinced by her that,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I got through all these things before, because I can tell you what happened was, if you take a panoramic view of man from the beginning, when he started and all that, it was survival instinct. You got to protect yourself not only from the natural dangers and also animals and poisonous plants and all that, but also your own different tribes, right? I'm going to protect my tribe against other tribe, and they were killing each other and all that. Then civilization happened, and people began to work and make a living, work and accumulate things, work and be having some innocent pleasures. They are all okay. What the difference was, whereas modern generations have petered down to finding fulfillment in the things that are not going to be giving you kind of lasting fulfillment or permanent fulfillment. So, what the claim of the ancient is, it's not out there, it is within you. That's why you got to explore. That's where their work is. All of that is based on intuitive meditation, intuitive awareness. That means turning inward, not with intellect, not with senses, which is what the modern life has built upon. So, that kind of inner enhancement of the humaneness, that's what they're talking about. Uh, we can argue one thing though, because we are so self-centered about our own things and thinking that's what I'm supposed to do. So much division, so much war, so many things are happening. Leave it all that. But suppose you go, you get paid for something as a physician, for example. But if you go with the attitude, I'm going to be empathetic, I'm going to be trying to give like a compassion, kindness, or any of those qualities that I kind of intangible, and see the day how it is. One of the chief things I try to inculcate within myself, with my other physicians who are working with me on the burnout, I usually tell them about very simple thing, like can we make this all like a service? That's why we took the medical profession to begin with, right? Maybe later on we have become money hungry, or we have become name hungry or whatever, that corrupted us in a way. But actually, if you look at it, uh, once you switch the service mode, it has more meaning, more satisfaction, and much more rewarding than just considering about things. Then it becomes a burden. Then we will be watching the clock, and then we want to go home. I don't want to see any patients just before I go home. All those things happen. You see, our shifts were like this. When we work as a hospitalist, we have shifts 7 to 7. So the rule is whoever is coming on, they will not take patients at least for a few minutes or half an hour or 1 hour like that. And then anybody that happened just before the hour, they will have to take and hand over to us, that kind of thing. But there are a lot of people really fretted, they get frustrated if there's somebody comes sick and we have to attend to them right away. And those cases will be something like a very real emergency. Somebody is intubated, somebody has to be revived, somebody has to be brought back from shock, septicemia, that kind of things come. Then you cannot say, my time is over, I'm going to leave now because my time is up. Yeah, that's where the service thing really helps. You don't have to be a spiritually realized person, but this is a common sensical also. So that is where psychoneuroimmunology is showing us very nice happy hormones, peptides that are pretty good for our immunity and all that. Not this emotional reaction and then thinking I'm this limited person. I will have to protect my body and the mind, but they are not permanent. But I'm doing like this. So as you really evolve in your awareness of things, probably people accept them on their own. You cannot force these things on people, but you can talk about the virtues of that. So that's where there's a lot of science we can show now how gratitude works on our hormone system and also good peptides that we can secrete, how clarity of so many things helps us to really show on the functional MRI. You can show actual shift of mind status, and then you can say, okay, this person is going better waves rather than hesitation, that kind of thing. So there's a lot in the modern age where we are going to go for egotistical thing and also we're going for the results. So I usually tell them plan something and focus on what you're doing. Don't focus on the goals and the results. Then automatically your work gets done, you get good results. You can be efficient about it, but the only thing is you are not selfishly attached to the results. That's what the ancient wisdom teaches you. And then once you are liberated yourself from that kind of selfish attachment, you really want to do work well. You kind of develop this uh, kind of resign to the results and also enjoying the work as it is done. So that kind of thing is really not there even in modern India. So I don't separate anybody by country or anything. I can say moderns and the ancients. All I'm saying is, in the modern area, a lot of mental illness, a lot of problems for dealing with each other. These wars and divorces, separations, all those things are happening. But once you understand your inner self and you kind of evolve yourself with this kind of understandings, then it will be much beautiful. Especially when you go with a sense of service, with a sense of giving, is physically also good for you. That's what this statement. Alka, what do you think about that Vivekananda statement? I hope she's available. Alka, are you there? Yeah.
Having gone through a separation, I'll agree. I'm with you. Sorry.
Yeah. Alma, what do you think about that statement? I'm just trying to get you involved.
As figured out, I am on routes and just driving.
Okay.
I do have, like, I will contribute in a little bit.
Okay. Okay. I just want to get involved. Joyce and me, we were talking. So that is the kind of observation, Joyce. And so what I am learning inside, I bring it to the work and to my colleagues, to my teaching programs, coaching programs, whatever it is. And they seem to have that inward leap, we call that self reshaping. Once we do that, we are able to handle these situations much better with the inner resilience. That's what I focus on. How can you be resilient in the modern life by understanding this and bringing the hacks from the ancient wisdom? Not any particular thing, but anywhere from. You can go to the Muslim world or Christian world or Jain world or Buddhist world, but don't identify with anybody like I belong to this, but learn from their wisdom and then employ that in the. That's my style. Okay, if I identify with anybody, essentially I'm separating myself from everybody else. That's not what I want. I want to be not identified so that we are accepted by everybody and I am accepting everybody. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I was just thinking that something that I have learned over the years is that it can really help when you're kind of upset at somebody or a situation or something, to just kind of turn it around and think in terms of feeling compassionate to the other person.
Yeah.
I would do things like just, okay, I'm going to send positive thoughts to this person that I was kind of angry with or upset with, and think about, well, they could be having a bad day or whatever.
Yeah.
It just changes everything when you do that.
That's the realm of empathy, realm of emotional intelligence, and then really accepting ourselves to do properly. So it is actually good for us. So being like that, we are not allowing the negativity or resentment or anger, any of those things we have with those against that person is kind of gone, right? So we kind of help ourselves. Actually, Joyce, I wrote an article in LinkedIn, I think a few weeks ago, that is titled as "Giving is Getting Everything." That's in giving something like that. I use the same terminology, but a little bit more details about the modern life and what we can do on that.
Dr. Rao,
Yeah.
I'm listening and I'm thinking, most of the time, I think if we do get into the control mechanism, trying to control the situation, that's where we get into a sticky place. Because the first thing is you can only control what you can feel and how you can receive and react and respond to situations that are stressful.
Exactly.
And one of the things that happens is so this is kind of maybe a little bit of much information, but I work 2 full-time jobs.
Okay.
I do work with mother babies, and I'm an international board certified lactation consultant, but I also am a surgical nurse.
Okay.
So I work with children, and I am the late person, so sometimes I'm the perio nurse, so I prep them to go to surgery. I go to pick them up from the emergency room, and then I recover them, and then they either send them home or transfer them to either ICU or the units.
Yeah.
So keep in mind that at this point, we have to call the anesthesiologist, and we have to call the surgeons, and we have to call everybody, the OR team, to do the surgeries who are emergencies. And those surgeries are classified by emergent or something that can wait for tomorrow, things like that. So when we have something called E1, that means that we have 1 hour to do that surgery, to get it done and to move along, because it's a type of procedure that cannot wait.
Yeah.
So, most of the time people say, well, surgeons are kind of snobbish, and they don't be patient. They want it a certain way. They want it now. They don't realize all the processes and procedures that needs to take place before they go to a to the
Yeah.
operation room and all of that. I'm actually on the other side, and I think about this doctor has been doing surgery all day.
And,
He
yeah.
barely got home to eat, and
Yeah.
we're calling him right back.
Right back. Yeah.
How would you feel? I just try to put myself in the shoes of the person instead of trying to figure it out why.
Yeah.
Why are they acting differently, or when something happened? And when you're, this doctor, when you are on call for 24 hours, you have to come back no matter what it is.
Yeah.
And so, always think of situations that you can control and situations that you cannot control. So if I find that I cannot control somebody's response, I actually feel compassion about them, and I just feel like something is happening to this person. I just feel for them, and I am the
yeah, exactly.
I will say I'm in the team of I pray for the person. I hope that they feel better in what I do, and I try to do things to facilitate whatever they're doing so they don't have to do extra steps for something that even I go out of the way to get things ready, and so nothing is missing. So in my time, and I'm not doing this so people can take notes on me or whatever. That's the way I feel, and I genuinely think that in healthcare, every one of us have a spot, and if our spot is not done correctly, something can, happen. So that bridge of that chain is extremely important to keep it strong. So in my book, that's how I do it. And so many people have asked me many times, Alma, why you're never complaining that you're tired? Why you're never coming with a bad mood?
Yeah.
If you work this many days, why do you do that?
Yeah.
And how do you do that? And I said, number one, I really like what I do.
Yeah.
And number two, doesn't mean that I don't get tired. I just try to take care of myself with my meditations in the morning and with the things that I know I can control. And I come ready because I have compassion for what we need to do and to help these patients who need this care. I'm actually worried that we're not going to have enough people to take care of us when we needed it. So we better be generous and very good with new employees too. Let's train them right. Let's be patient with them so they can feel their passion and fuel their passion instead of feeling disappointed that they're here in this team. So again, I always think of putting myself on that spot.
Alma, you said something important in the very beginning. You know what you said? We can only control what is happening within us. That's totally true because we cannot really control external circumstances. Lots of times we may not have the power, or we may be, but we are not willing to do that too. About the surgeons, what you were saying about that is very true because I work very closely with the surgeons because I have to refer cases to them, like appendicitis or any number of surgical emergencies, right? Sometimes if I go and find something like a very serious thing we have to do right away, like a ruptured gallbladder and all of that, and we have to clear the patient very quickly, that means they can call us a especially orthopedic surgeries. They used to call the hospitalist on call. We have to go and maybe 10-15 patients per the day. I have to clear all of them, right? So then I have to talk to them and tell them special things about certain medications and all that. And then after the recovery and all of that, in the recovery room, sometimes the cardiac events happen, like somebody went into atrial fib or somebody went into a shock or somebody, all those things come. Then we take over, we take them to ICU and medically stabilize and all that. But what I watched many of the surgeons is they want to have their particular routine and particular flow state, then they can do all the surgeries properly and also really enjoy the results because they want to do a good job too, many of them, right? Some people may not do and they watch the surgeries, but the good surgeons are the ones, they first of all try to avoid the surgery as much as possible. But when they do it, they want to give it all. Like you said, enormous work is where you expect certain amount of work and maybe a little bit more than that. But then they start you with double the work and then they dump on more work. That's why how these people are really letting themselves be irritated or annoyed or lose their temper, and all those things are inner reactions. So what I teach them is watch your reactions, don't react but respond. So that's the important thing, when you react to something with emotionally versus reacting to the task that you are in front of you, and then you can do in a equanimous way. That can be trained, but that doesn't happen just like that. Many of the surgeons, they may think I'm having the power of money and the importance, so I can yell at the nurses, I can throw things at the nurses, bark at them. They do all these things out of frustration and all that. The more they do, the more resistance they have. The people also don't cooperate with you, and they are waiting for you to fall. Then they will pounce on you. So the all the stress, all that they builds from these reactions, not only to you internally, what happens to your atmosphere around you, all the friends and everybody that are there in the nursing, they may not be friendly with you if you are like a really taking out on them. So burnout is happening lots of times because it's extraordinary work and also the information and also this value they don't give. The doctors want to do surgery in certain way, they of course they want to use Da Vinci, and then hospitals may not have the budget allotted to them, and they don't bring in the modern. Suppose you are in one hospital, you have the Da Vinci, then you could do a lot better than somewhere else you don't have that. So quality of operation theater, quality of recovery staff, quality of triage staff, all those things are very important for them. All has to be coordinated so that he won't miss something and he won't get sued for that. So it's a tremendous stress there too. Not only imagined threat but also real threats are there. So all that what I am saying all the time is, which is a question of my life too, I have to develop the resilience. Like I'm fighting the infection, I have to understand the modern situation, how the healthcare has deteriorated into this atmosphere where physicians are not able to tolerate. But even ordinary people also, they are having this AI has the other effect is a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, especially the ones who are not familiar with the AI, they're going to lose the job. Those are that's a service we're going to do. Who have trying to learn this, we can pass on that knowledge to the other people so they can learn better. But basically, inner resilience is something you have to take time. You have to spend with yourself a time. You have to really give care to the being inside. That is the criticism I have all the time with the modern age is we are always doing stuff, do, but we have to balance that with what is our being, how we are, and that can be done. There are so many ways. Like you said, you try to calm yourself, meditate, and all that. Like that, I can teach a lot of things so that you can practice and you can help yourself, and that inner resilience grows slowly too. So I handle actually in one day. Usually, I have 3 days, you know 6 to 12. Actually I get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock, right? From there to my morning 6 o'clock, I'll do my own reading, my own understanding, my own things I will do. And then uh, 6 to 7 the wellness club, and then sometimes I do morning 7 o'clock meetings. And then from 9 o'clock, some consultations, morning couple of them, evening couple of them, or sometimes four. But usually I try to limit them to two, right? And then I have lunch hour meetings with people who want to, business things and all those things. And then by the evening, I'm done my exercises and all that, but then I come on the 6 o'clock for my BFL club meetings. I may attend some of the meetings. I may be doing some things, but I also listen to the clubhouse. And if I have a chance, I'll come and talk briefly. So I just participate, basically take interest in what is going on with this friend's room, that friend's room, or the topic I like. So you can have the intensity without the tension of inner reaction, and then you'll be in flow state. When you are in flow state, you don't have the expenditure or the thoughts. Whatever you are doing, you're completely involved. Ask the surgeons, they do 6 hours, 18-hour surgeries like that. How could they do? They are in the flow state. They don't have to get back to something else. Everything else is handled by somebody else. Even in my office, I don't pick up the phone. Somebody else does. I don't collect money from my patient. Somebody does. I don't prepare the patient for me. Somebody does. I don't check out the patient. All those things. Although I don't buy. I think I had luxury is I never had to talk to the insurance companies, whereas other doctors have to do, and there's a big headache for them because they don't want to pay, and they want us to kick us the patient out, and you have to get on the phone and talk to them. For me, there are nurses that were trained for that; they were doing it. That's a relief, okay? But I could that by spending money, by training them. At least delegate. First, teach them about your standards and what you want to do, and other what you are doing. For example, if you do something very good, like organization, I'm very good. Allotting things, I'm very good. That kind of thing. I trained my office manager, and she carried on that. Even the meeting, also, you know what I do? Maybe you are doing much better than this, but usually I tell them three things you have to go away from the meeting. Number one is what is that we decided in the meeting that we'll have to do right away. That's the number one list. Second list is what is that we discussed in the last meeting that we are following up now, and also what are the things we want to follow. So follow-ups is the second one. And the third one is what are the things that should be filed away, that should be removed from our minds and all that. So if you do these three practical things in the meetings, you're pretty much organized with a lot of things. Then you will do what you have to do first, then you follow what you have to follow, and you file away whatever is done. So that kind of efficiencies we can learn. This is all from modern management, or also yogic discipline. That helps a lot for me in so many ways. So I don't have to think about things all the time. I think about conscious thought. So reaction versus response. That was what Alma was saying. That's appropriate exactly. Because if you react emotionally, you will be losing your energy, and also it has consequences with other people reacting to you, and those things. Oh, he's a kind of so he's talking to me like that, and then they want to get to you. In my hospital, I saw the nurses, they don't leave him for 6 months. They will try to take it on him. I've seen it so many times because as an administrator, these things come up, right? And so they come and complain to me, both sides, and then a lot of wars happen there. So much unnecessary energy goes into that, right, Alma? As a doctor and physician, we know that nurses. Fortunately, I had a very good relationship with all the nurses right from the beginning, because it started very well for me. I was brand new from India. In India, we have only one clipboard and one paper, and we used to write vitals and then a couple of sentences, and then only the medications for each patient are written. We review them. That was the simplest record system at the time. Now it has changed, but at the time. After I came here, I saw a big chart, and there are so many sections, so many things. I don't know anything of that. Two women, one is the ward clerk, Mrs. Bregnier, and the other one is Mrs. Briggs. So that one is the other one is the nurse who was supposed to be pretty tough. Her name is Regnia. This was in '83 when I first joined my first residency. So they both showed me the ropes around how the USA hospital work, what are the ward procedures, everything is paper chart at the time. And also we had multidisciplinary rounds and all that. They taught me so well, I became very comfortable within a short period of time. And then from then onwards, I had a soft corner for the nursing, and I was able to understand them better. And then they were always really pampered me. You know, they would do all my cut work, cut work, because I was taking personal interest in them. Even a group of nurses in the New York, I got them invest in the mutual funds and all that, but I taught them how to select, how to invest. I didn't recommend a specific thing, but I taught them how to fish for good, how to avoid the finance charge, which I'm familiar with. So I told them. So they loved it because nobody bothered about their retirement fund, I think. And from then onwards, if I go there, all the scut work, you know what I mean, Alma, all the blood drawing, all the spinal fluid drawing, so many things that we are supposed to do. And that's why we get so exhausted as physicians because we are working like that too. I didn't have to do, rest of them have to do. So that kind of give and take really helped a lot with the nursing. We clicked. I never had problems with the nursing. So don't react, respond. Respond positively, respond in a service spirit, respond with all the energy saved, and then don't you see, a lot of people think, oh, we are humans, we can react like this and all that. Not so. If you really closely observe it, as a human being, you have much more noble traits. You can be calm, you can be considerate, you can be really looking at other people's point of view. Those things, so we kind of call them civilization, right? Cultivation of this, that can be happening all the time. So, Joyce, you have an idea of my life as a physician now, a little bit. So,
Yeah, well, it is important. I think the fact that you treated them like equals,
yeah,
you didn't treat them like underlings or something. And so then,
yeah,
you
more than
should
equals,
perform and,
more than equals,
treat them
Joyce.
well.
Yeah, more than equals. I thought they are my family too. You know, that kind of seeped in. So it's like, oh, we're going to take care of these people. That kind of spirit came in, and we had lunches together and we had a lot of discussions. When I got married, when my wife came, they were so happy, and then we kind of bought them one lunch because they were so good to us, and they enjoyed that Indian food like anything. So small things like that really made a lot of difference for us. That's one thing I tell them: take breaks, mini breaks, and then take a complete revival of the mind and body. Don't go to a vacation place and try to see them without relaxing, unwinding. So you do that. For me, I tell them this. This could look very extraordinary too, but I tell them I take vacation every day. How I vacate the mind every day. This is from J. Krishnamurti. He taught us that how can you empty your mind after whatever you have to do, and that way you will be able to vacate your mind. That is the vacation.
Yeah, I understand. And
Yeah,
even though I don't I don't meditate,
yeah,
I feel that I take mental breaks when I need them.
good.
I know some people I've run into are like, oh, you're gonna, you have to take a vacation, you have to like take a day off
Yeah,
completely, and I say, well, or it's gonna burn you out, or this or that. And I go, well, if it was going to do that, it would have done that about 15 years ago because I've been going like this for this long, and I'm actually doing better than I was. I've been getting better and better. So
can
I
you
know
tell
I
us
know how to
about
take
your
care of myself. I know how to give myself.
yeah? Can you tell us about your mental breaks, Joyce? How you take them?
Oh, well, I don't know.
Hmm.
If I guess I guess I naturally can get my mind at rest.
Yeah.
But if I have trouble for some reason, or if I feel like I just need something extra, I actually will just put on some, I'll look on YouTube for some of my favorite songs,
Okay.
that are uplifting. So, but most of the time I don't even do that. But if I feel like I need that, I do that. And I often like to, the ones that are some of my favorites are like famous movie musical numbers, like with Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers.
I love the dancing. So uh, yeah, that is it. Diverting to something else, something really focuses away from this. That's a very good break. I will tell you other thing that I was fortunately able to learn and also observe is it's called movement to movement awareness. That means I see a patient, I give full attention to the patient, what is happening, what I need to do, and all of that. But then I go to the next patient, again I will be in the same movement. That is the movement, not in thought, but in awareness. We have a new guest, Rex Mariti. Am I saying correctly? Rex, welcome.
And thank you very much, Doctor. I just want to comment on what I do also to just rest and relax.
Yeah.
I work in a building, and then I'm lucky that outside there's a patch of grass. So during my lunchtime, I just go and sit down on the grass and not think about anything. So that's how I prevent burnout from happening.
Oh, that is huge, Rex, because this we package it as a forest bathing, where we say dump all the devices, all these information loading things, and go be in touch with your nature. That means take a walk, but don't allow your mind go vagabonding, but just be with the nature and sense, and then smell, listen to the leaves sound or the wind breeze, and be in that really helps you to relax much better. Actually, one of my friends, he's a multi-millionaire, but he has 4 or 6 screens in his studio. So he works with a lot of data, a lot of things. He's a big capital manager person, so he has a lot of work like that. And he was going crazy with his mind. So he called me, Dr. Robert. Then I told him, just dump everything, just go outside, find a tree, and lie down or sit down under the tree. And he did that. And when he did what the way I told him to, not to think, not to everything. This is the problem with our modern age is we lost touch with the nature. Actually, we are a part of the nature, so we have to cultivate this. Maybe a gardener is good, or a walk in the forest. Actually, big trees develop certain things that we inhale that are very, very good for us. Actually, I made 2 videos on this forest bathing, why it is so important scientifically. But I'm a naturally natural person because I grew among the rose gardens. I grew among the mango mango trees and mango, what they call them as a like a plantation. Only mango trees are there, and like that. So all the nature around me. My own high school, they kind of constructed all the walls, and then they didn't have time to put the windows and doors at. But then, no, it's a tropical country, so all the air is going to go that way and this way. And we used to have turmeric field next to our school. So I grew up in nature, and then when I came back to Iowa from New York, when I started my practice, somebody sold me a piece of land that has beans. When we have 4 acres, we kind of put the clinic in the middle, and they had a large compound and all that. But then they're surrounding us again the fields. Now on the back of my house here, we are at the edge of the town, a very nice community. But then on the back, we have all these cornfields and bean fields and all that. Yeah, I appreciate you that you are giving time to the nature. That's an important point that you brought up. Yeah, sure. I think the hour went very well, Joyce, today. We talked a lot of things. At least for me, it flew away. So that's good. So this is what I want to do in this one weekly one where I will be focusing on some of the uh, things we have to do for the burnout people, whoever is burning out. If they can adopt these small, simple things, and then they will change, a lot of their energy to positive, and also really enjoy their life. So that's why my saying at the end of each video, I say, if you want to live long and well and enjoy, and you want to have inner happiness, inner health, and wealth, come to us and talk to us. That's the kind of sales pitch we put it there, but actually we mean it. We mean it, and then just existing is not enough for me. But to exist, but with quality of life, a joyful life. So thanks for all of you coming and listening to me and participating. And thanks, Danny. Thanks, Joyce, Alma, Rex, Ola, and Shante, and Nag. Any other last comments or questions?
So, yeah, I've got a question.
Yeah.
I've noticed that recently the amount of advertisements or ads that we view has tripled
Yeah.
or has grown an exponential rate. And I've noticed that it's also becoming a stressor in our lives.
Yeah.
Is there any way to minimize the amount of adverts that we are exposed to here?
Yeah, this I talk about in my digital toxicity lectures. If you go back, you may find them too. But then I'll mention briefly. What I do is I kind of give rest to the devices, audit them, and then give the rest to them, especially before sleep and after sleep. Okay, that's something we can do every day. Other thing is notifications. Unless you want to really want to notify somebody, switch them off. There's a distraction that happen. Don't do the multitasking. Do the task one at a time, complete attention. Actually, you get more done by doing that way. The other way is a kind of depletes your energy. It's not good for your mind too. And of course, expose yourself to natural live things like the plants, like the puppies, like the flowers, like the other people. All those things are very good. Something changing like a light music or something that is a different mode of mind. That's very, very important. Advertisements, especially, I pay money not to have advertisement on the YouTube channel. So whenever I see some things, I don't have any advertisements coming there. So I think that's a good thing to not to fall for them, because lots of times they are fighting for our attention, and people are becoming attention span deficient because they don't see the harmfulness of this. Actually, I was quoting this too, that among the teenage girls, because they go to the Instagram and then really exposed to a lot of ads and all that, that want them to be slim and all that, many of them are committing suicide because they are paying attention to the ads and they are not measuring up to them. So they said 189% increase in suicide rate of the teenagers from 2014 to 2018. This is an actual study that was published too. So that annoys me, bothers me. That's why we should not leave the kids with the iPad as a babysitter. We should not allow them to see lots of this material. So we don't pay attention to these side effects of the technology, which I do. So that's why I have this digital detoxicity course that I teach for a lot of people. I mean, we don't do it as a business. I just do it as a service. So that's a very good point, Rex. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you very much for your input, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, then we will be closing now. And I did two rooms today, one from 6 to 7, and this is from 7 to 8. That's good. Okay. I feel like it went off very quickly. So, but I got something else to do after this. And so I will take leave from you all And I'll see you again tomorrow in our regular room, BFL, at 6 o'clock in the evening. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
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 Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.